We are very honored by your presence here this morning, and we look forward to your testimony.
我是许文丽的妻子。
I am the wife of Shu Wenli.
我丈夫许文丽，
Please pull the microphone close. Thank you.
我丈夫许文丽，1981年被判15年徒刑，剥夺政治权利4年。
My husband Shu Wenli was first arrested in 1981 and sentenced to 15 years, and then deprived of political rights for 3 years.
罪行有2个，一个是反革命宣传罪，一个是组织反革命集团罪。
At that time, there were 2 charges against him: counter-revolutionary propaganda and incitement, and organization of a counter-revolutionary clique.
1998年被判刑13年。
In 1998, he was sentenced to 13 years
剥夺政治权利3年。
and deprived of political rights for 3 years.
罪行是颠覆国家政权。
The most recent charge was subversion of government power.
我结婚29年，
I've been married for 29 years.
有15年我们夫妻是在大墙的里面和外面。
I have been separated from my husband for 15 of those years.
我是一个很普通的中国妇女，
I am a very ordinary Chinese woman.
为人妻，为人母。
I am a wife and a mother.
总得要支撑一个家，抚养自己的孩子。
I only wish to take care of my home and raise my family.
今天在这里，我感觉往事不堪回首。
I believe that as I sit here today, I look back on a very bitter time of the past.
同时也为在狱中我的丈夫的身体深深的担忧。
And I am very concerned about my husband's health.
1981年，我女儿刚刚9岁，
In 1981, when my daughter had just turned 9,
我丈夫被抓，家里被抄。
my husband was arrested and my house was searched.
1年半没有消息，
For a year and a half, we did not know of his whereabouts.
我领着女儿到处寻找我的丈夫。
I had to take my young daughter with me to go and search to find my husband.
我们有一天到了公安局的信访处，
There was one day that we went to the headquarters of the Public Security Bureau.
那里的窗户很矮，有一个接待的小窗子。
And we were speaking with the Public Security Bureau to the policeman through a small window.
而我要弯着腰，这样才能看到里面和里面的人讲话。
And I had to lean over in order to speak with the man who was behind the window.
里面的警察把椅子当成沙发坐，
And the man behind the window sat back in his chair
把他的2只脚脱光了，伸在窗户上。
and put his feet up on the ledge of the window.
我问他，我丈夫在哪儿？
I asked him, "Where is my husband?"
不是中国法律规定，24小时就应该通知家属吗？
Isn't it guaranteed by Chinese law that within 24 hours of arrest you must tell the family of the whereabouts?
他蛮横地说，
He very ridiculously said to me
那个法律不适应你。
that this law does not apply to me.
我们有一个内部规定，
He said there is an internal regulation
第2条第5款，
in the second section and the 5th clause.
所以你现在你丈夫在哪儿，我没必要告诉你。
So now it is not necessary for me to tell you where your husband is.
我回过头来，我女儿已经跑出去了。
When I turned around and looked back, my daughter had already ran outside.
她坐在马路边上，
She was sitting on the side of the road.
我怕她出危险，让她回去。
I was afraid that it might be dangerous, so I asked her to come back inside.
她说：“妈妈，我害怕。”
She said that she was afraid to go inside.
我为了支撑这个家，
In order  to protect my family,
除了在学校里教书，
In order to take care of my family, I am a teacher, and I teach in the school.
我说一下，就是从我丈夫出事以后，那我在单位里面涨工资升级就没有指望了。
But since my husband was arrested, he is no longer involved in working, so there is no salary coming from him.
为了生活，我只能在外面上给夜校的那个在职的职工上课。
So in order to support my family and to support my daughter, I was also teaching classes in the evenings.
还在外面给别的一些小的单位当会计。
And also working with some administrative work for other work units.
贴补家用。
So I was working 3 jobs.
这样我每天晚上就回家很晚。
And I would come home very late every night.
我的女儿就在10岁的时候就开始会自己做饭。
When my daughter was only 10 years old, she started to cook meals for herself.
当然很简单了。
Of course, they were very simple meals.
有一天我回去，
There was one day that I came back from working.
我女儿买了一个很小的蛋糕，点上蜡烛。
My daughter had made a very simple cake and some simple things for dinner.
还炒的鸡蛋和西红柿，鸡蛋和黄瓜。
She had made simple dishes of eggs and vegetables.
她告诉我：“妈妈，今天你生日。”
She said to me, "Mother, today is your birthday."
爸爸今天不回来，他来电话了。
But today, Daddy can't be here.
平常家里他总是把他爸爸的衣服挂在衣架上。
And she put her father's clothes out in the house.
把鞋子摆在桌子那个床下面。
And put his shoes on the floor.
说完这个话，他哭了。
And after she had said these things, she cried.
他说：“妈妈，我不愿意做一个说谎的孩子。”
She said, "I don't want to speak like a child."
爸爸不可能来电话。
But my father won't be coming.
只是我不希望家里没有爸爸。
But I don't want to be in a house without my father.
1985年。
In 1989.
我丈夫在监狱里写了一本狱中手记。
1985. I'm sorry. My husband wrote an account of his life in prison.
传到海外发表了。
And attempted to publish and publicize this in the outside.
因此，我丈夫有5年被放在这种严厉的禁闭室。
Because of this, my husband was kept in solitary confinement for 5 years.
停止了我们去见他有4年。
We did not see him for nearly 4 years.
这中間我女兒做了一次大手術。
During this time, my daughter was going to have a very a surgery, going to have very dangerous surgery.
当时北京医院的血源很缺。
But there was a program, it was very strict within the Beijing hospital.
希望那个家属能够在特别需要的时候要输血。
And she was going to have to receive blood.
而我女儿和她父亲的血是一个血型。
My daughter and my husband have the same blood type.
医院里也要求她父亲必须签字，因为手术有危险。
And it was also necessary for there to be signatures of her parents because the surgery was dangerous.
我领孩子到了监狱。
I took my daughter with me to the jail.
苦苦哀求他们也不允许见。
But unfortunately, they would not let us meet with my husband.
我女儿说：“求求你们了，让我见见我爸爸吧。”
My daughter was begging with the guards to let her see her father.
妈妈可以不见，我想见。
Even if my mother can't see her, I want to see her.
你知道吗？我上了手术台，也可能就会死掉。
Her daughter said, you know that I am going to have a very serious surgery and I could die and not see my father.
我再也见不到我爸爸了。
And I could still have not seen my father before I died.
那个警察冷笑着说
The guard mocked her and said to her,
不可以见。
you cannot see him.
我女儿问为什么，
My daughter asked why,
去问你妈妈，
and the guard said, ask your mother,
因为他们怀疑是我把书传出来的。
because she had taken the material out of the prison. She had helped smuggle the accounts out of the prison.
现在我女儿已经是个27岁的大女孩了。
Now my daughter is grown up. She's 27 years old.
我感谢美国政府和美国的一些朋友，
I thank friends in America.
她在美国受到了很好的教育。
In America, she has been received very well.
现在研究生已经毕业了，成绩非常优秀。
She has graduated from graduate school.
但是，我想提醒你们注意，
But I would like to ask you to pay attention to this.
民主党的很多领袖都被抓起来了。
There are many people involved in the Democracy Party whose families who have had members of their families arrested.
他们的孩子5岁、6岁、10几岁，
Their children are very young, 5, 6
他们的
years old.
妻子面临着下岗，
Their wives have lost their jobs.
他们在监狱里由于没有学问里有名气，就更加艰难。
They have no sort of assistance, and their lives are very difficult.
怎么办？那么多孩子，
And what is there to do with having these children?
只要有人是民主党人，
Only if someone will help them, but they have no way to help them.
他们不是被逮捕，就是被开除公职。现在我丈夫在牢里边，
Now my husband is in the prison.
得了肝炎，
He has hepatitis,
他们不给治疗，
and he has no treatment. He is not being treated.
Oh, God.
病情在不断发展。
The sickness is developing. It's getting worse.
我送去的药他们也不许吃，
The medicine that I give to him, they will not allow him to take.
去年夏天，
Last year in the summertime,
北京的气温达到40摄氏度，
the temperature in Beijing got very high.
他的窗户被铁板钉死，
And in the window, the sun could come in.
我要为他的吃药，为他的处境，为他好多事情，整天的和警察、监狱管理局打交道。
And I would go to the prison and give medicine for him to have and ways for the sickness to get better.
最不能忍受的是，他们还要在去年建国50周年的时候，
And last year during the 50th anniversary of China,
让徐文丽戴上手铐，
Xu Wenli was he was tortured.
去参观北京城的建国50周年的街景，坐着囚车。
This was during the time of the 50th anniversary of the Communist Party.
我就这样为这些事情跑来跑去。我想我丈夫和他的朋友们 只不过是做了中国宪法允许做的事。
And it must be expressed also that my husband and his friends, the things that they did are not illegal in China.
中国宪法不禁止的事情，中国法律不禁止的事情。
But the law in China is not what matters.
也是中国签署那2个人权公约上面允许公民做的事情。
It is only what matters to the Communist Party.
他们只是表示了向中国共产党表示一个很善良的愿望。
The Communist Party will have the regulations and the restrictions.
就是政治上要多元化、民主化。
According in politics, there will be there will be developments, and the leaders will make the regulations.
他们被判了重刑，还不够，
And it is not enough what they can do.
还要伤害他们的妻子、儿女和家庭。
And there's persecution for their daughters and their wives and their relatives.
伤害这些在狱中人的身体和他们的精神。
There will be persecution for involving their health.
谢谢你们，打扰你们了。
And I thank you for listening to my testimony.
We thank you, He Xintong, for telling us this story. I think that I've been in Congress now, this is my 18th year. This is probably one of the most, if not the most, profound and grave set of testimonies that I personally have ever heard, and I have heard a lot of them.